I was attempting to make sure that my camera is behaving itself before I started stream, and I think that I may have got it properly this week, but we'll see as the stream goes along. Beanie has not decided to join us yet, so his chair is full of nail polish. And today we're going to be working on some red, white, and blue stuff, but first I want to go ahead and quickly send out a tweet. Hello, Mega. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. Frankamoose, hello. Haha, the Beanie emote. Yeah, I don't know really, you know, like a lot of emotes are like a hello emote or like an I love you emote, and I don't know what the Beanie emote is for, but hopefully you guys enjoy them. So let me get a tweet sent out here. Oh boy. I actually thought I was ahead of the game because I pulled all the polishes that I wanted to use last night, but then I don't know. There's always just like 5 more minutes of stuff that needs to be done than I think there is. Alright. Hello, Vinay. How are you? And I think the audio should be good, but if anybody hears anything weird, let me know. I know last stream I kind of had to reset my filter about halfway through because there was a little bit of a whining noise. But hopefully we can get through this week with no disasters, and hopefully we come up with something good because I did not completely... Oh, actually, let me fix this. Can I do this? I made my camera in Beanie Cam just a little bit smaller, so I can make the actual nail cam a little bit bigger. So, Ribbons, hello! Oh, let's see, what's everybody chatting about here? Notification Squad. Oh my goodness! Jerry! Thank you so much for the subscription. I have no thing that I say when people subscribe. I kind of tend to get giggly, and I told myself that I was not going to act like a schoolgirl if I got any more subscriptions, but thank you so much. Now you can use the mysterious Beanie emote that I was just saying I don't know. I mean, his expression on his face is a little bit of a Kappa kind of smug thing going on, so I guess he could be my channel's Kappa. Caritha OP, hello. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Lurkers make the world go round. That's my usual MO. That's one of the reasons I wasn't sure I would make a good streamer, because like I'm not a great chatter. I'm usually lurking, and I'm usually, like you said, cleaning or doing something else, multitasking. Yeah, the Beanie Jerry combo smugness. Alright, so when I asked you guys on Discord whether you wanted some more rainbows or whether we should move on to some red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue won pretty strongly. So I pulled out a few different red, white, and blue combos that we're going to play with, and we'll see what happens. I do a 4th of July design, and sometimes something for like Memorial Day or Labor Day, also in patriotic colors, just about every year. So at this point, it's kind of like, gosh, what can I do that I haven't done before, or what, you know, can I do and at least put a slightly different or unique take on something that I've done before? So, gosh, we're a little bit... I feel like I always am apologizing for how unstable the camera is. I try to keep it as steady as possible, but I think part of it is just like, I mean, to be completely honest, this whole house is unstable. When I had like OBS up and everything and I was getting ready to stream and I was walking across the room, I was like watching it sway because, I mean, it just... I don't want to say it's not sturdy. It's not like my house is about to fall down or anything, but it's elderly. And so yeah, every little thing seems to transfer through everything else, and even something that seems stable all of a sudden can be wiggling. So I'll try not to like just harp on it, but I did want to apologize, and I'm just gonna finish off my tea real quickly also. Well, maybe not quite finish it off. It's a little bit more left in there than I thought. So the first thing I want to play around a little bit with is some striped drag marbling, which I've done a couple times, and I don't think I've done since Christmas, and I was not super pleased with the results, but during 12 Days of Christmas, I can only be so picky because I need to get stuff done. 10 minutes to figure out how to change the color of your screen name. I like the color it is now. It's like just a little bit bluer side of green, like compared to like Jerry and Barbie, or at least on my screen. Sometimes different screens will show names different colors if they don't have one absolutely set. And hello, by the way, Barbie. Thank you for joining us. Flashing lights and dance music. Yeah, rave over at MSLP. Hello, Jen. Alright, now let's make that go away. That'll be a little bit less distracting. Okay, so we have, and really, before I get started here, what is today? The 23rd. I really should note up here in the corner what day, because otherwise sometimes I'll go back in my notebook and I'll be like, when was I even doing this stuff? So I got out my my Moyu stamper. Lives in this little case, I guess you'd call it, when I'm not using it, and it has this little cover to protect its delicate little clear silicone head. I really enjoy my clear stampers, but they do, I mean, you do want to be careful with them. Like the old school Conad stampers, I mean, they were so hard you could just toss them in a drawer and you didn't really have to worry about them. But I mean, this is very, you know, bouncy, soft, and delicate. So I always try to make sure to remember to put it away when I'm done. And Luke, hello. Thank you for joining us. And a capitalized Top Hat Luke, which I'm, unless it was last time you were in Jerry's and I didn't notice, but I'm pretty sure that is brand new shiny capitalization in your name. Thank you for joining us. I think I already said that. So yeah, drag marbling. Actually, where's I'm gonna need a lid here for this. So there's a bunch of different kinds of drag marbling, and this particular like striped drag marble that I'm going to be playing around with is something that I first saw on Instagram, and I never, so far, I haven't tried since the first couple of attempts. I haven't been able to do it exactly the way that the girl on Instagram does it. I'm trying to remember her name. I know I meant it was like 6 or 8 months ago I did it for the first time, and mentioned her in my YouTube video. So if you really want to know the originator of this, you can go back and check the blue striped drag marble. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm so scattered today. But the way she did it is to lay down the color and then stroke with the actual brush out of the bottle. And for me, I just wasn't getting a stripy, dang it, a stripy effect that way. So the way I do it is with an actual striping brush in the wet polish instead of using the bottle brush. The too fat. That actually would be good. You could have, I mean, you could have capitalized it that way. Too Fat Luke. That might be your new nickname now that you put it out there like that. I never, see, maybe that speaks to my age because that never occurred to me. Oh, how Ninja did on his test. You know, he actually, the messed up part is he doesn't get to find out for, I think he said like a month. So he just gets to sit around and stress for like a month, even though we all told him, don't stress, just relax. And we're all sure he did good. Because, I mean, honestly, most times when he's in a stream, he's also semi-lurking and also studying. So with that amount of studying, in my opinion, he has to have passed. You borrowed the idea? Yeah, Frankenmoose, because it gives you more room to work. It helps keep things organized so I don't have... I mean, like a good example is like water marble test strips, which I'll staple together a batch. But then what do you do with these? Like, I don't want to throw them out. They're still good examples. So, I mean, I have a couple shoeboxes worth of test strips, but the notebook makes things much more compact. Didn't occur to you either. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he never listens. Although sometime in this month, he's supposed to be streaming since he's not studying. So, for anybody who wants to go follow SSD Ninja, he does Super Meat Boy. Well, I'm sure he does other stuff too. I know he plays that outer space game that you play, Jerry. But he runs Super Meat Boy. He's an awesome guy, as you all know. Yeah, definitely feel free to post it in Discord, Frankenmoose. I guess it would go in the nails section. I should probably maybe rename that channel to just like nails and polish and other things. But and for anybody that's not in Discord, check out the Discord. It's a learning experience, but it's been fun so far. You guys help make it fun. So, okay. I'm also kind of stalling because I've got all these laid out, and I thought Beanie was gonna come in here, so I actually like cleared half his chair for him. But these are basically grouped in red, white, and blue trios, with a couple of exceptions, and I'm like not sure which ones I want to test first. So I'm just gonna like grab 3 and start, because otherwise I'm just gonna be here acting a damn fool. Oh, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, Frankenmoose. Like, inspiration comes from anywhere, you know. And also, stuff that you might not like, other people may love. But even if you aren't completely happy with the design, somebody might just get inspired from, like, the colors that you used, or something like that. Inspiration can come from absolutely anywhere. Sometimes I get people asking, like, where do you get your inspiration? Where do you not get inspiration? Yeah, exactly, Jerry. Okay. These polishes are Zoya. A lot of what I have pulled out is Zoya, because my Zoyas are mostly together, so it was like easy to find a lot of them. And for some reason, when I start matching colors together, although sometimes I do end up mixing them up with really good results, like we did with the Drip Drop Lava Blobicure, generally I'll at first start within a brand. So we've got some Zoya trios, we have some OPI trios, and we have a trio of nail foils that I have some thoughts on, but I'm not sure if I really want to mess around with them. Hello, Jackie. Everybody is sweet here. Maybe that'll be my nickname for you people, the sweet people. That sounds kind of... No, that can't be it. I retract that idea. Oh, thank you, Mega. I don't know if I even consider this done. I literally just washed it this morning. It's still wet. And I slapped a bunch of product in it. God, this is so closed. Slapped a bunch of product in it and shingled it and just kind of tied it back so that it'll stay out of my face. God, this is a really dirty bottle. kind of back to what I said last stream about getting polish built up. I think that was last stream that we had some bottles that were so stuck. Keep your bottles clean, people. It'll make your life easier down the road. Anyway, this plain white is Zoya Purity. It's usually my go-to Zoya white, even though they have another white that's like, okay, you're like, how does a company have two whites? Snow White, in comparison to this, is so similar that you would not know unless you had them right next to each other. But if you looked at them right next to each other, you might have a preference for a certain nail art. It's like one is a little bit cooler of a white. I know it sounds absurd. It's true. So we have Purity. This blue is Mere Jane. It's not as dark as it's... There, that shows it a little bit better. Mere Jane, and I think technically this was from their neon collection, even though it's probably not what you normally think of for a neon blue. And then for the red, we have Hannah. And if you're not familiar with Zoya, all their names pretty much, I mean with a little bit of wiggle room, I'll say, have people names, which is not my favorite thing, but Zoya is still one of my favorite brands. You're the sweetness. Oh wait, Barbie, I missed a long comment. I'm fairly happy with my lamp for what I spent on it, and I want to say that it was about 40 bucks. I mean, you could spend like $5 on a lamp. You could spend like a couple $100s on a lamp. The one thing that I don't like about my lamp is that, well, hold on a minute. I'll actually, and I'm probably going to get super behind on chat because I like over-explaining stuff, but other people might be interested in this, so hold on. Okay, so this here is my UV lamp, and the thing about it is, if I can kind of, it's hard to show, like with my current setup. Let me just take off the adapter. That'll make it a little bit easier to handle. The opening is wide enough for you to fit your whole hand in, but because the lights are just on the top, like if you put your hand in and you know your thumb is kind of pointing more sideways than upright, your thumb doesn't cure properly. So what I usually end up doing is doing, you know, 4 nails in here, and then with, okay, move these polishes, with both of my thumbs in like this. So if I were to ever replace it, I would want to get one that had lights that also came down the sides of the lamp and was designed to put your whole hand in at one time. Other than that, I mean, for what I use it for, I've been very, very happy with it. So, once again, maybe, I don't know how to turn that into a quote. More information than possibly requested, but... like the nail squad or the polish box or something like that. I mean, there's tons of stuff. And there's a lot that's already, like, being used, and probably some that's being used that I'm not even aware it's being used. So that's another thing. Like, I don't want to, like, accidentally take somebody else's crew name. I mean, I've seen stuff like that happen, and it's, like, creates this kind of ridiculous, unnecessary beef between nail artists, which sounds absurd. We'll see. Something, of course, at this point, I mean, nothing really developed on YouTube, but we didn't have this same kind of interaction. Vinay! Thank you so much! See? Okay, I don't know why subscriptions make me giggle. Maybe it's just because, like, I'm so flattered and happy that a smile, like, can't fully express my pleasure, but thank you so much. Blah. Thank you. And hopefully one day I'll be able to accept a subscription without completely losing my train of thought. Oh, names. Yeah, so I keep hoping that something will just... I mean, like, some people have some really good ones. It's like, man, I wish I'd thought of that. Like, you know, Christine with the holosexuals. That shit is everywhere. You go on practically any damn video on YouTube and somebody's in the comments like, where are the holosexuals at? Like, I don't know if I would ever come up with something that catchy, but I would hope to get something that is that descriptive and kind of, you know, speaks to the community, and that the community is not like, oh, that's a dumb name. So, the stars and crown. So the star, and probably somebody has already said this, but the star is the sub emote or the sub icon, which next month I need to get them made. Next month I get custom sub thingies, so it won't be the star anymore. It'll be something else. I'm gonna keep it a secret, but I already know what it's gonna be. And yeah, the crown is prime, and there are other little icons that you can get by your name also. Like if you cheer with bits, you can get a little bit badge. If you are one of the top 3, you get an extra special little bit badge. Moderators have a badge. Like Ninja's my only moderator right now because I haven't really had any problems, and I don't want to like I said, I don't want to like obligate anybody to be like, oh man, I need to go on Colette's stream because I'm her moderator, like the only other one. But if you see SSD Ninja in here, he'll have a little green sword. That's all I can think of right now. You're wearing a manicure that's not finished and you don't know if you want to finish and post it? Yeah, I mean, I would say finish it unless if you're uncertain, finish it. If you hate it, take it off and start over. I can really only think of one time that I did that. And the tutorial is actually kind of hilarious because it was as I was recording the tutorial that I realized I hated it, and I only did one hand. You know, I finished one hand in order to finish the tutorial, but then I didn't do my other hand, and I never did finish the design. And in hindsight, it was not that bad. Like, it was just pissing me off for some reason. But I would say, finish it. Why not? The polish party. But then what about when I'm playing games? If you guys don't know, tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, possibly as early as 5, but more likely a little bit later, I will be playing a video game for the first time in many a year. I'm looking forward to it, but I may not be very good. I'm really optimistic. Like, I feel like I'm a really good typist, and that, you know, coordination should translate into a controller. But even when I was playing video games, I'm more of a puzzle gamer. Platformers were not my thing, but I love Hollow Knight, and I will be starting my Hollow Knight playthrough tomorrow. I will, I'll be posting on Discord when I finalize the time a little bit more. Nailed it. All the information. See, now I realize, again, yeah, I'm like 5 minutes behind the chat. Okay, read the chat. Get going. Okay, there's that. At least I'm not missing, like, subs and stuff like that because I have my Streamlabs up, like, front and center here. Plus, I have, like, my alerts and the alert sounds, so at least that will keep me on top with all that. Oh, thank you, Jackie. I think, were you trying to do it with Prime? I think, plus with the Polish party, some people are going to look at it and think the Polish party, which, I mean, is kind of funny, but then it's like, oh, that's kind of obvious, because actually to anybody else that's not a nail polish addict, that's probably what you think of first when you see that word. Custom sub thingies hype. Everything I don't know what it is a thingy. Or a doohickey. Maybe a thingamabob. On occasion. Modding someone doesn't obligate them to your stream, though. I wouldn't think of it like that. Are you volunteering, Jerry? I know you know how to mod. Mod people you trust and that are usually there. That is a good idea. It's like, I don't know. Plus, too, it's like, I feel like I don't want it, well, of course, again, that's like my thought process. Like, I don't want my chat to think I expect them to misbehave because I've like added more mods or anything. Yeah, kick out trolls and answer questions. That's basically it. Swing the ban hammer really hard and fast. That's what they do. Half smooshy down the nail with striping tape down the middle where the base color is smooshy. Oh, that sounds actually really cool, Caritha. Almost like a smooshy reciprocal. Actually, a smooshy reciprocal. Now, okay, my mind is instantly like going off on a whole nother tangent that is probably not conductive with the red, white, and blue testing. The polished gamers. The polished gamer was almost going to be my my new YouTube channel name. I'm gonna make a new YouTube channel for my gaming streams, and then I decided I'm just gonna stick with Colette MSLP. PG Squad for polished gamers. Have a whole different name for my gamer people? That would be confusing. Well, plus some people I think are going to be both kinds of people. Because I know Jerry will be there for the Hollow Knight playthrough. Jerry is the reason I am playing Hollow Knight. It was probably around a year ago, and watching him play Hollow Knight and saying, man, this game's so cool, I would love to play that, and him and Ninja teasing me, yeah, Colette, why don't you play it and stream it? And I'm like, haha, that'll never happen. And yeah, now it's about to happen, like tomorrow. Okay, yes with Prime. Jackie, go. Let's see here. There in chat, I got the Prime command. I forgot last week that I had made a command about this because I thought people might have questions. If you go on that link, it should walk you through linking your accounts, and I think it should be pretty simple. You can, open up in another tab if you want and check it out after stream or whatever. I don't think it's hard. I know a ton of people have it, so. Yeah, Jerry. I agree. Hollow Knight is gonna be however it goes. Like I opened it up yesterday just to make sure if I could get the game volume at a decent level and stuff, and just hearing the music, and especially like right in my ears, like with the headphones on, the eerie little cool music. I was like, oh, I love this game so much. I was like, man, I could do a stream right now and try this out, but I'm gonna be patient. We're doing nails today. Freaking eventually, if I can ever get my act together here. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it so much. Maybe Frankamoose. See, now I'm so tempted. You all could be my Hollow Knights, like holographic knights. Except then everybody would be like, "Oh my God, you're trying to something with Christine." Like, I love Christine. I've said this before, but some of her people, like, if you do anything that she has done or use anything that she has used, they're like so rude. It's like, dude, what? Like, I don't get it. Hollow Knights would be such a cool... I still might do that. Unless I come up with something else. Yeah. You will not admit how long it took you. Okay. Pointless beef is pointless. Yes. Yes. It's like... Or even like, some of you guys probably know Polish Mountain, and people were getting shit for doing Polish Mountain. Like, She literally said in the video she would love other people to try it, and people are going on these other people's videos and... Okay. Changing the subject about that because pointless beef pisses me off because it is so pointless. Most pointless things, it's like, I have no time for that. Who does have time for that? Make nail art, not war. Put that on a t-shirt, Mega. Okay. We are going to... Let me get a... We need a striper brush here. What? Whoa. God. Okay. We've got a long, skinny one and a shorter, even skinnier one. And that should be good for now. Although, you know... No, I'm tempted to try this with a with a fan brush, but I think I better stick to what I know because I'm gonna have enough trouble deciding between the colors. Zote nails. Oh my god. Zote the Great and Mighty. I hope a lot of you guys show up for Hollow Knight. I think even non-gamers can appreciate it because it's just so damn pretty and it's got such good music. Okay, so let me slightly rearrange here, see if I can fit everything that I'm going to be doing in frame here. Whoa. In fact, maybe. Do I need to zoom out a little bit here, I think? Can we zoom out a little bit? Yeah. Like that. Okay. Okay. So, we're gonna start out by opening the polish, because that's always a good idea. The reciprocal smooshy. Oh my god, that would be so cool. And actually, a reciprocal gradient is on the list of things to possibly think about today. Maybe. It's kind of far down the list. Reciprocals just take so long. It's like it's basically you're doing two manicures on top of each other. And the results are worth it, but they can take a while. And as much as I love just like dorking around with nail polish, sometimes it's like I just would like a quick manicure that I can do and get on with what else I have to do and not spend 3 hours editing. So we've got a little bit of red, we've got a little bit of blue, and we're going to lay down quite a bit of white. Well, not a huge amount, at least a fingernail's width and length worth. And then I'm going to start with, I mean, this is like a regular, oh wait, no, this isn't even the one I wanted. So these came, whoa, in the same set. The slightly smaller one I have trimmed down to be even skinnier than it originally was. So I'm going to start with this one and see how it looks. I'm basically going to like lightly run through the white with the red. And leave some room for the blue too. Got my... Couldn't quite fit the acetone bowl on camera, but I'm just getting the red off of the striper. Then we're gonna go back with the blue. And the thing that's tricky about this particular technique is, you see how like on the lid part, see, I might have to zoom in here and just switch back and forth between what I'm showing. On the area where the lid is, in fact, maybe I can just, yeah, let's do like that. Like, here on the side, you can see, whoops, how wide the line starts, and then as it gets into the white, it actually is thinner. I'm still going to see how it applies. Oops, probably should have cleaned this off first. Got my little mini lint roller for cleaning off our delicate flower of a clear stamper. Make sure there's no fuzz or weird crap on it. And I'm gonna get it onto the stamper like that. I know it wasn't completely easy to see, but you kind of have to, when you're picking it up, you kind of have to just go for it. And I try to rock it in the same direction of the stripes. And then we're going to give it a minute to sit here and dry. If you try to immediately stamp it on your nail, or in this case on the paper, what happens is it kind of smushes too much. I really should have my little clock up here so I can actually keep a count like of seconds. So by letting it dry a little bit, you actually can keep more of the design. But I think that this particular combination, the color lines are too thin. Now I could also use one of the colors as the base instead of the white, but then you run into the problem of, can you get the white opaque on top of the color? Glitter toppers that have stars in them. Probably at least one, but not very many. Like shaped glitter, if I'm going to use shaped glitter, I'm more likely to use like a loose glitter and place it myself, because in a topper, they're so hard to sometimes like fish out of there, excuse me, and get them where you want them. It's like you kind of almost got to fish around in there with your polish brush and then like get an orange stick or something, and like too much messing around. So usually if I use shapes, it will be loose glitter. Oh, for on top of this, I see where you're going. I see where you're going. I'm not sure if I want to do that. One thing I did think about putting on top, depending on which design and which technique I decide with, when I was pulling out all these colors, I came across this, which is Zoya Gilty, and yeah, that's gold in there. That's gold in the nail polish. Actual 18 karat gold floating in nail polish. And I don't remember how much I paid for this. I have a handful of pure gold toppers. They're all kind of expensive, but I mean, like, it's gold. And you could tell it's gold compared to like glitter, because I mean, it's not glittery. It's shiny, it's luxe, but it's not, it's not a glitter. But that may go on top of something. Maybe. Yeah, when you get invited to meet royalty. So, it's been... shit, I don't know how long it's been. It's been like a minute or so. So what I do is I give it like, I call it the tap test, and see if I basically get any polish on my finger when I tap it, and I don't. Hopefully I didn't wait too long and it'll actually stamp off for me. Shoot. Okay. We need yellow stopper, which is intended to be a base coat, but I never use it as a base coat. I use it as a thing to make things sticky. So we're gonna just put down a little bit of that. Give that a second to dry. Was that your money flying away? Oh, I like that. And if I was doing a manicure, odds are even, I would say, or maybe even high, that I would use the yellow stopper, just because it's difficult to get your base color to that perfect tacky consistency right at the same time that your drag marble is ready to stamp. So this is just slightly tacky, slightly dried, still slightly wet. Let's see if we can get it to stamp off now. There we go. So actually that's not as bad as I thought, but the lines are still quite a bit thinner than what I really wanted. So I'm gonna stick these back over here. Let's go to this, because these were the first ones that I actually pulled out. Celestial FX, Glitter Stars and Moons. I almost wonder if that's the one I have. I feel like an urge to try and find it, but every time I'm looking for something specific, I am reinvigorated to organize my collection, because it's so hard to find stuff now. And like, I can see in my mind, like, all my new Helmers assembled, drawers just full of each brand, nicely organized, everything is wonderful. And right now, that is the only place it is in my head. It's a fantasy right now. So these are OPIs. What do we have? Alpine Snow and the red and the indigo from the color paints. Magenta Muse and Indigo Motif. Using tape to keep the lines straight. That's the fat sticks. My nail polish collection is probably like enough to be considered an asset. You can use tape to keep the lines straight, and I was looking through my nail vinyls, but like for this, one of the reasons I really like drag marbles is because you don't need much patience. I mean, you need a little bit, but not very much. Like when you're using striping tape, you really, really need to be for sure that your base color is dry, or else you are going to have a situation that is going to make you cry when you peel that tape up. And that's happened to me a couple times. And sometimes you just can shed a tear and maybe fix things, and sometimes you're going to ruin your whole manicure and just cry and cry. Yeah. Exactly, Ribbons. Yeah, like, not just my nail polish. Like, I mean, there's a ton of the crap around here that needs organizational attention that I am severely neglecting. Which, I mean, made me hesitate a little bit on, you know, scheduling time to play video games here, kind of. Then I was like, you know what? I have a lot to do, but that's not to say that I don't do anything, and trying to treat myself just a little bit. And sometimes, then too, when you do something like fun and nice, then you still do kind of get like a guilty trip. Ooh, that's coming across quite nice. And maybe you'll do something super productive after you've been relaxing. Alright. Now this is almost doing the opposite of the other ones, where the other ones were like getting skinnier over the way. These are almost getting fatter as they spread out. And obviously I want to keep the colors you know, separate, so that they're not all just you know, blending into a purple, or all you see is red and blue. You still want us to be able to see all three colors. And there we've got that picked up. We'll try not to wait as long this time. I still might add just a little bit of, actually, let's make a note here. This was, oh, that's a pen. I want my pencil. Zoya. This is going to be OPI. Oh, we are not. There we go. Let's put down a little bit of this. Yeah, I was too, Jackie, especially because the color paints are jellies, so they're by default sheer, but the collection actually has a pink and the magenta, so I was hoping that it would hold on to its redness. So Krista, did I say hello to you? Hello. And you are absolutely right on that also. There's, I wish I could remember which one. And I'm trying to remember if it was actually like a tape or a nail vinyl, or if it was my Simply Peel. But like, you can see where it starts peeling up, like the whole peel off base coat, and I like stop and like had to mess around with it in very delicate fashion to get it to detach, and then to get the part that had already lifted up back down. It's kind of, I mean, it's definitely another downside of peel off base. Something you kind of have to be aware of, but Yeah, it can get kind of dangerous. The most precise manicure that I have done. Okay, now you see this is probably a little bit less time than last time. Tap test is still good. Of course, we won't really see if it's wetter since I put down a little bit of the yellow stopper just in case. Whoa, we've got some blurbs there. That's okay though. But you can see how different. I mean, I did exactly the same thing. Only thing different between those two is the polish. And that's why some things are so difficult. Whoa, is this already coming up a little bit? I think ribbons. It might be the one that's my avatar, because that was let me see if I can pull it up here. Oops. Oh, my mouse. Like, laser mice aren't supposed to feel sticky. And this one is so goofy. I think it's got like something stuck in it. Okay, so if I go, where are we here? You can maybe make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so I think is this what I want? I want this one. Okay. Let's make that visible. So here you can see this reciprocal gradient right here. So that was basically like two, and it was one of my favorite gradients already, even before I did it as a reciprocal. For the reciprocal gradient, you do a gradient, you let it dry, you clean up. Well, you don't have to clean up twice. Then you lay down the tape, then you do a whole nother gradient on top of it. But the other one that came to mind is, oops, let me search. My staggered gradient, which, you can see here. And that involved creating a gradient on the Miracle Mat, and then cutting that gradient into little tiny strips, and then laying the strips out on my nail, slightly staggered up and down. So that one might be the winner. It took quite a long time, but I love that manicure so much. I'd love to do another staggered gradient. I almost went for a staggered gradient for red, white, and blue, but like I said, sometimes I'm not up to doing a manicure that's quite that time and labor intensive. OPI looks like fashion, Zoya looks like dessert. I can actually, that makes perfect sense to me. So I want to actually, let's do one more test with the color paints. Let's use the smaller brush that I had out and see if that, because I'm quite impressed with how the red and the blue managed to not get real light and washed out. So, okay. Let's... Oh. And I know I have a fuller bottle of Alpine Snow around here somewhere, and I can't find it. Alright, so we've got our white base, we've got our skinnier brush, and... See, the problem with this, and sometimes I think it's because they're probably synthetic. See how the polish beads up there? It's like, I don't want that bead. That's messing up my... It's messing up my width. So, with this skinny brush, we're almost getting results kind of like the first one, except for those couple that are having little blurbs. Add a little bit of the blue. And it's possible to do this technique like right directly on your nails too, but the thing at least for me, is that on your curved nail, I find it a lot harder to like do a completely straight across stripe. And so doing it on the lid and then picking it up with the stamper allows it to allows you to take advantage of creating it on a flat surface and then applying it on your nail. The World Cup. The most World Cup exposure I've had, Mega, is the World Cup Twitch emotes that there are. If you cheer in a chat, you, depending on what level you cheer, you get World Cup inspired emotes to use, and you can unlock them for other people in the chat. And there's a special little rolling soccer ball dude cheer mote. The cheer motes they're like emotes, except they're animated and they're just for cheering. But I haven't watched any actual World Cup. Now you have a crown. Congrats, Barbie, on successfully linking your accounts. Some shit just went down. Germany scored in the last minute. Who are they playing against? I know Germany is, I think I know that they're good. Daggit, hello. I know there have already been a couple upsets. And, the one thing I saw, every time I'm like, oh, I saw this, and then I'm about to explain it, I'm like, I'm about to get something wrong. But I think it was the Japanese fans, they were like cleaning up the stadium after their team won, and it was like a huge upset, but there were more people talk about how they were cleaning up the stadium than about how they won. Nothing to write home about. Jerry, you're supposed to say, yeah, man, I got a PB and it was awesome. Because all PBs are awesome. I think I've mentioned before, for my people who are video game people also, Jerry is a Mega Man runner. Oh, I stamped that completely off camera. But there you can see this one, how the OPI color paints look with the skinnier brush. I feel like I either need to load more polish on the skinny brush, or like I need a third width of striper. Like neither one of those is quite what I want. I also had considered like instead of having them all together, like either red strips on the bottom and blue at the tip, or vice versa. Let's these are really pretty. Let's play with these. You still like the Zoya Mega? Darker side is sub 2 hours, Daggett? I saw, somewhere I saw that, any percent is almost sub hour. It's like 102 or 103 now, which seems insane for that huge game to be able to get through it that fast. We're back to some more Zoyas. These are scattered hollows. Not sure how much hollow is actually going to show thanks to my wonderful, horrible ring light. Actually, you can kind of see it in the blue. And the blue is Dream, and the red is Blaze. And I'm going to be using Purity again. Alright. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue. And where are we? A little bit of white. I have a couple shimmerier whites also, but seems like sometimes for drag marbling it works better to have a cream as your base color. So can I... Alright, let's... See, this, I feel like this is a little bit too dark of a red. As much as I love Blaze, I don't feel like it's giving me like a American flag red. It's more kind of like... I kind of want to say Old Blood red, although it's not quite that bad. And I don't fully like the way that these hollows are playing with the cream either. We'll see. We'll see how it... Whoa, how it stamps. Yeah, more berry colored Jackie. The rustic American flag. Yeah, this one's been out in the field for a while. See, and that's already pretty dry to the touch. And you kind of have to be careful sometimes. Like you can kind of see got a little bit of an edge overhanging there. Like when you're doing your nails, especially. To make sure that the design isn't so dry that it's like a little, almost like a decal, but still wet enough to completely stick to itself. And so if it folds over on top of your nail, you kind of have really split odds of whether you're going to be able to unfold it successfully and maintain the design. So, yeah. Like right now, I'm still leaning toward like somewhere in the middle of these two OPIs, but we have several other colors yet to try. And, I mean, some other techniques too. Probably. I kind of really want to do a striped drag marble because it's something that I haven't done in red, white, and blue before. This device? Are you talking about this, Daggett? This is my Moyu London Crystal Clear Stamper. It's a silicone tool. It's used for its intended use is with image plates, which are like these little metal plates that have designs engraved in them, and you put nail polish on them, and then you can stamp it off of the plate and onto your nail. But they have many, many other fun uses. Okay. More Zoya. I warned you guys, this is mostly Zoya. And for this one, I pulled out a shimmery white, even though... Oh, and I didn't even see. Jerry knows it's a stamp. Jerry, I'm so proud of you. Even though I just said that the shimmery whites don't work as well necessarily as a cream for the base. Tag it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, that tickles me. I'm not just educating the women, I'm educating the men folk. Now you can appreciate what us women go through. I mean, for some people, you know, actually all it is, well, I would add base coat to that equation and proper top coat, because there is no such thing as a polish that has proper base coat and top coat built into it. Don't let the companies lie to you. There's no such thing as a polish that works equally well as a base coat and a top coat. And I just, actually, full disclosures, I like to tell you guys, I just pulled off the clear polish on my thumb. I was using regular base coat, and that's just how, I don't want to say abused, but like when I wash my hair, it takes me a long time to wash it, a long time to detangle it, and a long time to style it, even if all I'm doing is slapping a bunch of product in it. So my nails get a lot of water exposure, and even with a regular base coat, that just peeled right off. But, yeah, nail polish can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. Secondary house painting business. Like, yes, like combined shampoo and conditioner. Like, they're not... The things that make a good base coat and the things that make a good top coat are completely different. You want your base coat to have a sticky, tacky finish, or a ridge filling, or both. You want your top coat to be shiny and glossy, and if you have a shiny, glossy base coat, your color's not going to stick to it. And if you have a tacky, sticky top coat, that's not going to be cool either. And you can't make something that does both those things well. You can make something that does both those things ish, Jerry. But like, just save yourself some headache. Get a real base coat and a real top coat, and even cheap dollar store nail polish is going to wear like 100 times better. The new technology. Yeah, I feel like this one, the thing I'm keep getting distracted by is I feel where the edge is lifting up and I keep catching it. Okay, let's just get rid of this because it's bugging me. Like, it's catching on my skin, and I know you guys can yell at me. Like, peeling off regular base coat is not good, but it's just bugging me too much. There's my clear polish. My nails, though, I honestly probably wouldn't even have bothered to paint them if I wasn't washing my hair, but they're in such good condition right now. I don't have any patches. I'm very proud of myself. Knock on wood. Don't want to break a nail. Yeah, Barbie, I wear gloves when I wash my hair, even though I hate it. But it's like, it's impossible to get gloves that are actually going to keep your hands, like, dry. It seems like it just keeps them from being quite as immersed. I would say it helps, but it's like, when you're dealing with that much water and stuff, it's like impossible to fully... Jerry. Come back, Jerry. It's okay for boys. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like when you do nice nail art, you want to be able to appreciate it without having to worry about, you know, the effect of water. Like, I think in most cases, like, if you're using peel-off base coat, exposure to water, you're probably going to lose your whole peely's worth of polish. If you're using regular base coat, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with more chips, which is kind of maybe even almost worse. Because, like, if you lose a peely, you can stick it back on if you're so inclined. If you chip your polish, I mean, it's certainly possible to repair that, but it's not as easy, and you're more likely going to end up just walking around with chipped polish. And I'll admit, I'll judge people. Like, I mean, maybe not a little chip or whatever, because, I mean, shit, I've gone out in public with missing nails worth of polish. But if I see somebody and it's like not just chipping from the tip of the nail, but also chipping at the cuticle and chipping at the sides, and there's just like this little chipped circle of polish left in the middle of your nail, I just want to like shake them and say, take off your damn polish. But that wouldn't be polite because they're strangers. Anyway, polish. This shimmery white is Janessa, and I don't know how well the shimmer comes across on camera, but if I stick them together here, this is Janessa, and this is Purity, and you can see, I mean, you would say this is white till you put it here. Purity is a very stark, cool white. Purity is still white, but maybe a little bit off-white, and then the shimmer in it is almost silver. And then these two are also shimmers. We have Elisa, and we have Song. Song is one of my favorite Zoya blues. I mean, it's like, it's good. Elisa is one of my favorites too, but I mean, I am, generally speaking, more partial to blue than to red. Yeah. I mean, I try to still give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe maybe they're out of nail polish and they're nail polish remover and they're here at Target to get more nail polish remover so that they can remedy this situation. Alright, so we've got a little bit of this out. And another part of me, by the way, I was saying I need like a liner brush in between these two. Part of me is tempted to get the scissors and go to town on the thicker one, but I think I would probably regret that. So, get a little bit of this shimmery white out here. And the other thing I don't like about it is it's like it doesn't like to stay together. You can see how it the bristles get all bristly. But you can kind of, like, when you dip it in polish, like if you roll it a little bit, kind of roll the bristles back together. But, I mean, of things that I may be considered an expert on, I would not include nail art brushes on that list. Like, nail art brushes baffle me sometimes. My acetone is so pretty today, you guys. I'm going to show you in just a minute. Just kind of... Like I said, you can get inspiration anywhere. It's like making me have all kinds of wanting a purple manicure vibes. Now, this is going to be a really good example of... I might need to try these with a plain white base. You see how the lines aren't smooth? They're like curdled. Favorite word there. That I'm pretty sure, and see when you, it'll show even more when I stamp it. I'm 90% sure that's due to using the shimmery white as the base. Although it could also be the colors, but it's probably the base. Oh, Caritha, you can feel free to post your channel. You can post it here, or if you want to, I don't know, I don't think you're in the Discord yet. If you want to join the Discord, there's actually a channel in Discord that is just for like social media and networking. Pretty much anything on nail art I'll consider on topic, as long as you're not in here like spamming it every 5 minutes. That's perfectly fine. Sand the polish off of your auto remover. Or also, and this goes for anything that you want to tell somebody and you don't feel comfortable, or just for whatever reason don't want to say in chat. If you want, Twitch has a feature called Whispers. So like if you click on somebody's name, there'll be some options and you can click on the whisper option and it will send them, it's like a private message. And like, I'm trying to picture where it is, like underneath the video player, and I don't know where it is on mobile because mobile and I don't get along. Like right under the video player, there's like a little chat bubble looking thing, and if you get a whisper, it'll have a big red 1 in it. So if you do want to tell anybody something privately, that is certainly an option. And also, Daggett, the camera was slightly out of focus because for some reason, and I kind of, since this mostly works, actually let's stamp this here before I go off on another tangent. Now, I did let it dry too much because even with the stickiness, I got some left over on the stamper. The webcam doesn't want to autofocus like at this kind of close macro level, so I have to manually set the focus, and it's like focused basically on my mat, and should be pretty focused on the notebook. But yeah, like when I lift it up here, whoa, we do get a little bit out of focus. Where are we? This is the one I want to show you guys. So you can see here, it's slightly out of focus, but it's not looking like that because it's out of focus. It's looking like that because it's dumb. I mean, these ones are out of focus and they're still, you could see that the lines are clean. This one, the polish really bleeds, gets kind of almost like wiggly looking effect. Yeah. You kind of spam sometimes on Discord. No, you're active. You're not like, I mean, like, spammers are, like I said, like, if you're posting a link, like, every time somebody new comes in the chat, oh, are you interested in my Instagram? I was posted this 5 minutes ago, but I'll post it for you too. Like, you know, repetitive, same content. Or, like, I've seen in some channels where, you know, people are literally posting the exact same message because they think the streamer didn't see them or because the streamer didn't reply to them. Like, okay, maybe once you could repeat yourself if it's something important, but otherwise, like, what is... Jackie! Thank you! How do you prevent yourself from giggling like an idiot when you're happy? Someone please tell me, because I am so thankful and grateful that you guys, like, you like me. You really like me. Who was that? I should know. I do that all the time where I'll, like, say some kind of quote or some kind of line and I'm like, I don't even know where that came from. Time to spend $1,000 on a DSLR camera. Well, you know, Daggett, I considered it. It would probably even be better with my my good old trusty Canon. I like showing it because it's so beat up. It's much loved. Thing is, in most cases, to get a good capture on something that's not a webcam, I need a capture card. And I don't know what capture card I'm getting yet because I don't know if I'm willing to upgrade to Windows 10 just to cater to my capture card requirements. Yeah, and it's weird, Jerry. There's a lot of weird, like, I looked into it just enough, like most things, to realize that there's a lot more to it than you think there is. But this streamer I watch, her name is Megan, and she does resin keycaps, some really cool shit, and a lot of it she uses nail art supplies to create, like, the color and the dimension in these keycaps. So she'll have, like, she'll be working with resin and then she'll, like, add in some flakies, or she'll add in, like, some hollow. And she is actually using, I'm not sure what model it is, but she's using an actual camera instead of a webcam. 'Cause she can really, like when I do the zoom in and out with the webcam, it's kind of like chunk, chunk, chunk. Each level just goes right there. And, like, when she's zooming in and out, it's smoother, more like it is in my tutorials, because you're actually using the actual camera. She's got all kinds of cameras too. She's got a hummingbird camera. She's got one for her little corgi. She's got one on her 3D printers. I quite enjoy her channel. It's kind of a little bit wild, very mature, but I would consider using a camera once I get a capture card sorted out. Yeah, and also, like you said, Daggett, as far as, like, constant use, like, I don't know what kind of drain that would put on the battery, because, like, I mean, like, my camera now, I'd say the average tutorial takes me an hour or so to record-ish. And a lot of times I have to change my battery at least once while I'm recording to have enough to get through the tutorial. So I don't know how long the battery would hold out streaming. And I mean, like, I dawdle a lot in stream, but that to me would feel like a super dumb reason to have to pause the stream to change the battery in my camera. But on the other hand, now that I think of it, I haven't seen her had to do that. So either she has a really good battery, or possibly some of those have like an adapter, like a power adapter. There's so many things to learn with streaming, you guys. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I knew that, but once I started learning it, like, I actually knew that. Jim Carrey? No, it wasn't Jim Carrey. It was a lady, and she was accepting, like, an Oscar or Emmy or something. Don't ever stop giggling. Oh, thank you, Sakrista. Gel lamps, but you don't want to take it. Yeah, well, you know, I get distracted really easy, Barbie, like with the gel lamp thing. But, I mean, so far, I try to check in with you guys and, like, make sure that I'm not, like, going too far off topic or too much, like, rambling. And so far, you guys are, like, so sweet, and you guys are there with me, which is, you know, the important thing. Oh, your Instagram is empty. I keep saying I'm gonna get back to Instagram, and I keep saying I'm gonna get back to my blog, and so far, like, not so much. I love Instagram, though, for, like, if you're stuck somewhere or, like, waiting in line or whatever, and just have, like, a few minutes to just scroll through some stuff. And, you know, my Instagram following is, like, nail art, makeup artists, yoga people, hair stuff, like glass blowing, and like comics. So it's like all cool stuff, and actually, like, their search page usually shows me some pretty good stuff too. Yes, Barbie with the ID of the quote. You're too lazy, Daggett. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that. Yeah, you're like, it works, but it's not really the intended purpose of the camera. Yeah, I mean, really, I've complained a lot about the 920, but really, I consider at $50, it's a very reasonably priced webcam, and it's doing pretty good. And if I didn't have two, the majority of the problems that I'm having would be eliminated. That's the only thing I would say, is that having two of them, I did not research enough to know that having two would be a problem before I had to, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with the little workarounds I have to do right now. But yeah, I mean, compared to even a cheap camera, and most DSLRs aren't cheap, it's getting the job done. Yeah, glass blowing is so cool. When we go to the state fair, there's a glass blowing demonstration. They do demonstrations every hour on the hour, and I try to always catch at least one. And it's really crazy, like, within an hour, and usually less, sometimes, you know, like 40 minutes, sometimes even half an hour, they have one of those, you know, wheels that you spin, and it's like clink, 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 clink. And, you know, it'll land on a mug, or it'll land on a vase, or it'll land on whatever, and they'll just go from there and make it in front of this little small audience. They have like a trailer with the freaking kiln and all that stuff, and it's awesome, especially on occasion, and I'm sure it's tricky for them, but if you get there like the last show of the day, it's kind of starting to get dark. All the hot glass is like glowing. It's really cool. Complete tangent. But yeah, Mega, taking videos is not that hard. Editing, it has a learning curve, which I could stand to follow a little bit more of the curve and learn a little bit more. But pictures are good too. I started out just with my blog and just with pictures, and you know, if you do want to learn, there's so many, and everything that I've learned how to do from my blog to my YouTube to Twitch is all either from asking questions of people in the community. That's especially true for Twitch, or just Googling it, like literally, how do I whatever. How do I make my labels list a drop-down instead of a list? And I learned how to HTML code that. And I couldn't do it again right now if you asked me to, but I learned how to do it long enough to get it done. I agree, Daggett, especially because it's apparently a super well-known issue. It's been going on for a long time. And honestly, please tell me why I can't just rename one of them so that it can understand that they're not the same thing. You know, I don't know. It's the future. The technology doesn't know it yet, but it's the future. Oh, you have to head out, Jackie? Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you again so much for the sub. Yeah. I know you guys said laughing is okay, but I just feel like such a, like, goof. But definitely thank you. Have a wonderful day. Yes, Jerry. The blue screen of death is if you have both 920s plugged in when opening OBS. Every time I did it, the computer blue screened. So the simple workaround is only have one plugged in when you open it, but then sometimes that can mess with the settings, then you have to like redo the settings, goofy stuff like that, and still sometimes it's weird. Oh, I was gonna show you guys. Oh, it doesn't show up as nice on camera as it is in person. It just looks kind of murky and weird. It's a really pretty sparkly purple. Gonna need some more in a minute here. I actually probably should sop this out, start clean. A little more. And I get, if anyone's curious, this is just like was this Up and Up acetone. It's from Target. It's the slightly larger bottle because I go through it a lot. But acetone is acetone. It's 100% acetone. There's nothing else in there. As far as I know, the brand shouldn't matter. But on the other hand, I swear one time my mom had some acetone from the dollar store and it wouldn't take off her nail polish for shit. So your mileage may vary. Aw, thanks, Jerry. Okay. Back to after our long detour here, back to the drag marbling. I want to try these same red and blue with the plain white base and see how that turns out. So red, blue, and we'll go right down here. So this is the plain white cream, and make sure my brush is clean. Yeah, those are a lot cleaner, but see, and I wonder, this might not come across very well on camera. These are bleeding into the white. Let me get the blue. Then I'll show you guys a little bit of a closer view of it. Might just be the red doing it. So, can you see, like on this bottom red, it's like red and then it almost looks cloudier. That's like the red seeping into the white, except like not in a cute way at all. We've got our stamp here. And the yellow stop, this yellow stopper really is quite convenient. I've also heard, but I did not try because it's not what it's supposed to be for, that this can be used as a peel-off base coat if you do like 2 coats of it. I mean, I haven't tried it because I have an actual peel-off base coat, but if you're looking for something to try, I don't know. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just sharing information that I have come across. Minecraft is my life. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Yes, it's Independence Day in the US, and red, white, and blue are our flag colors. So I usually do some red, white, and blue nail art to celebrate the holiday. And we are playing. Oh, I stamped it off camera again. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see how the red is like blurry. It's not bleeding like this one, but it's like blurred out, and I don't like that. So far, these two from OPI are still winning over all of the Zoyas, which is kind of funny. It's like, pull out 15 Zoyas and pull out 3 OPIs, and all of the Zoyas are not cooperating, and the OPI is like almost perfect. You thought that was a movie. What, 2 movies actually. Wasn't there a sequel? I don't know if the sequel was any good. I'm 90% sure I did not see the sequel. Okay. So, we've tried those. Did we... Ah. Okay, here's another iffy sort of combination. No Will Smith, no care. Oh, that's right, because didn't they have his grown-up son in the sequel or something? Or supposed to be his grown-up son. I don't think it was actually the kid that played his son in the first one. Just giving these a shake. I should have shook these up all last night when I pulled them out, but I didn't. So we have another shimmery white here. And actually... Wait, where'd the other shimmery white go? Oh, right here. Duh. I wanted to compare these for you. Just because sometimes I think it's easier to get a real feel for the polish if you can not just see it, but see it compared to something else. So this one that I'm going to be using for this one is Janessa, and it's a very pearly shimmery white compared to Genesis, which is that other shimmery white that's more, a little bit less shimmery for one thing, and Janessa almost looks silver. I mean, compared to Purity, which is the white cream, I'd say it does look silver, but by itself, it just looks like a really, really shiny white. So we've got Janessa, and then we've got 2 pixie dust colors. We have Waverly, which is the blue. That's really... There we go. It's not this dark. I promise. I mean, it's a dark blue, but it's more like the flashes you're seeing in there. I mean, this looks like on camera, it looks like black with blue shimmer. And we have China with a red. Actually, maybe if I... that kind of shows the colors a little bit better. Or the cat cam, of course, with no cat. But, the Zoya Pixie Dust colors, the reason they are, a special kind of well, it's not just one collection, they've had several collections of them. The Pixie Dust is a texture. So instead of drying to a smooth finish, the Pixie Dusts dry kind of almost like sand. They're, like textured glitters with almost a matte finish, which matte glitter sounds like a contradiction, but I promise you it's not. Yes. Please see the rules, Minecraft. Politics definitely, I think, fall under a divisive topic, and this is my happy place. I try to limit the depressing shit. So, we're going to be using the 2 pixie dusts, and I unfortunately don't have a white pixie dust, or I'd have pulled that out too. But I thought that Janessa would hopefully complement them, although we may run into that same one of the two same problems, either the blurring or the bleeding, and we may have to give these a try with the cream also. So, I mean, like when they're wet, you really can't tell. But once they're dry, you'll definitely be able to see the texture to them. I hope the texture shows across on camera. So, almost running out of room here, even though I picked one of the larger lids to play with. I think we can probably finish our testing though. I've only got a couple more colors there to go through. So, I think we'll use the slightly wider striper. And I think for this one, I just want to give a try one of my other ideas. I think I mentioned, oh, I can tell it's bleeding, which was red on the bottom and blue on the top, instead of having them all throughout the whole thing. I almost feel like, I know I put down enough of Janessa, but I almost feel like it's not flowing through there. Definitely a lot of bleeding of the colors. Ooh, and a little bit of a smear too. You can kind of see, even on the stamper, how smeared they already are. They're not really maintaining their lines. So, like I said, we'll give it a try with the cream base also. And see if they can hold their own a little bit more. The other thing with the pixie dusts and with most matte polishes and a lot of textured polishes is that they dry pretty quick, but apparently not that quick. I ended up with polish on my finger. So after this one, I also have pulled out. Now you can even see in the bottle of these that the bottle is like frosty. These are, and it says down here, kind of small, not sure if you can see. These are matte velvet colors, and I do have a blue, a white, and a red, but I'm not sure if I really want to try these with the drag marbling, because I used the same colors except for the blue. I have a green also for the Christmas drag marble, and I was kind of disappointed with how that turned out. So yeah, that's very, very blurry. I mean, it's not unusable if you wanted that type of a look. I can't quite think what you would want that type of a look for. I mean, other than just like abstract, but I really, for this in particular, want it to maintain its stripiness and not bleed out like that. Yeah, I mean, they're really cool colors. Let's see, they're already starting to dry here. I'm gonna dab out a little bit more. Try them with the cream. Maybe we can get them to maintain, or maybe I need to let go of the drag marble idea and do like regular stripes. That also could be the case. So see if the cream does the trick. Or even, see, now this is a point where I get like, do I want to change two things at once? Because I'm also leaning toward, and I think I'm going to use the smaller striper this time. Where are we? Because they're kind of, because they're like, you know, a glittery one, they're kind of thicker of a polish. So they're laying a little bit thicker on the brush also. Oh, that's really quite skinny though, unless I use like a little... No. Okay, switching back to the other striper. And they're still bleeding. I can see. Not as much though. The edges look like like when you try to tape off something to paint it, but the paint goes under the edge of the tape. A little bit of blue in there. Yeah, the blue's doing the exact same thing. But it's not as bad as the first batch. But that's probably gonna be a no. I should have, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. Pulled out more cream combinations. I did pull out a couple of hollow options. Caritha, I know the feeling. The other day, well, it was actually a couple weeks ago probably at this point, but I made myself sit down and clean all my lids off. And I could not believe how many I had dirtied up and just like not bothered to clean off. I mean, they're easy. They're super easy to clean off once the polish is dry. You literally just peel the polish off, and there's maybe a couple little bits that you need to still get with polish remover, but I had been so completely lazy about it. It was kind of ridiculous. I do have a couple lids that are a little bit bigger than this one. Like this one I'm using compared to my big head is, I mean, fairly large compared to, whoa. So like this here is like a regular size yogurt lid, and this is the one that I'm working on. I'm actually, no, that might have a label on. I'm not sure what this is from. I have a couple others that are even a size larger, but I think for working with it on stream, that might be a bit too large. There we go. So, actually, I mean, that's a lot better than the first go with those colors. I mean, this one compared to this one is a lot better. But compared to these, I mean, it's kind of no competition. I wonder... Okay. Finish what I'm doing, then try other things. My brain was going to doing a dry brush with the OPI colors. We'll see. Got a little bit of room left here. I think I'm going to try and use, just because I've already done so much Zoya, for this one I'm going to use Orly White Tips. And we've got Santa Baby. And these are hollows. Please trust me. And these are, this blue is Healing Waters, which is also hollow. And even though you can't quite see their hollowness, I think you can tell that they're different kinds of hollow. Like the blue is a lot chunkier, the red is a lot smoother. You like the Blurred Agate? This is a MoU London stamper, and I think I actually ordered it directly from MoU London, but they do sell them on Amazon. If you look at any of my stamping videos on YouTube, it's linked in the description box. And, uh-oh. Oh, here it is. I was gonna say, it comes in this little container, and it comes with a cover. Actually, it has a cover for the bottom too, but I never pull it all the way out of the bottom here. And it comes with a scraper, and yes, my scraper is super, super dirty. And it is probably my favorite stamper right now. I also have a Bliss Kiss clear stamper that is actually a little bit larger, but I damaged the stamper head. Like, I can't even completely claim it was accidentally. It was just kind of a really dumb move on my part. And even though it's very, very minor, it does make a difference when you're stamping. So I really need to, of course, you know, their July sale is coming up now that I think about it. Anybody that wants to get some Bliss Kiss products, their summer sale should be coming up soon. And I need to try and get on that and get a replacement stamper head because, like most stampers, this just comes right out. I mean, it's like a little... And in some cases, you can even use the flat. Can you, if I hold it like this? Like one side is domed and one side is flat. And in some cases, it is preferable to use the flat side, but generally use the round side. But, you know, most companies that sell stampers will also sell the replacement heads because it's almost inevitable that you're going to damage them because they're just so freaking delicate. Hi, KJD Radcliffe. Like zebra stripes. That would be kind of a cool one. And sometimes, like, the bleeding or... Like, I just got done saying, like, I don't know why you'd want that much bleeding, but one design that I did that was very similar to this, but I did it directly on my nail, was birch bark, and I used a silver that kind of dispersed a little bit, and then I used, like, this dark kind of brownish color on top of it that did not disperse. So it was like a white base, the dispersed silver, and then the dark brown right on top of that, so that the silver kind of spread out around it like a... I don't want to call it a halo because it wasn't round, but... So yeah, sometimes the blurriness and the dispersal is something that you want. Painted Dinosaur, hello! Or should I say, hello? Or would I get sued for... I don't know. Copyright? Trademark? I still get those confused sometimes. Maybe it's not copyrighted or trademarked as a greeting. Busy last week. Well, I'm glad you have time for to join us today. Hollow is for everyone. We were discussing that earlier when we were discussing names and fan bases and certain things such as that. So, okay. Is this going to be my last? This might be one of my last tests. Let's get a little bit of this hollow red, a little bit of this hollow blue, and a little bit of this orly white. Do we want to go with the thick striper or the thin striper? I think we're going to go with the thicker one. So, red. Oh. I was expecting these to bleed a lot. And I don't think they are. That is a pleasant surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have a contender here. Contender against the OPIs. And it's not a Zoya. All this Zoya testing. And the next best one is Colors by Llarowe. Alright, let's give this a minute to dry. Let's get a little bit of this out here in preparation. Can squeeze it over here, I think. Yeah, and also, Vinay, like I said, this one is kind of my favorite now, but there are multiple other ones out there. There's like the one from Bliss Kiss. There's actually a company called Clear Jelly Stamper, and I kind of would like to get one of those and get some of their plates, because their plates are really specially designed to use with the clear stamper. Like, obviously, you can see through there, and that's the cool part. But they have designs that are like maybe a flower petal and then an outline for a flower petal, and then like so you really can layer the stamps and take advantage of being able to see through that clear. And this is passing the tap test here, so we're gonna go ahead and stamp it. Yeah. Oh my god, guys. That one looks good. I mean, it needs a little bit of work. But, whoops. I still am liking the OPIs more. I think the blue is looking more flag blue to me, and this blue is looking almost not teal, but it's like not as royal of a blue as I would prefer. If you do it right away without letting it dry a little bit, Daggett, it doesn't want to transfer as nicely. You still end up with some kind of stuck to the stamper in a lot of cases, and since the part that you want is actually like the bottom, sometimes you don't end up stamping any usable design on your nail. A way to marble several stars in one water marble. I mean, I have thoughts about it, Dinosaur. In practice, I don't know. Like, guys, is my camera frozen? What the heck? This camera's still good. My face cam is frozen. Why is my face cam frozen? I'm sorry. Hold on a minute, you guys. I gotta, like, troubleshoot. Why are you frozen, face cam? Oh, and everybody's telling me my face cam is frozen. See, reasons why I need to keep up with chat. Okay, let's try this. Shoo. We'll go back here. Okay. Okay? Yeah. And stuff like that, I don't know if I should blame that on the two C920s thing, or just on webcams being webcams, or just on OBS being OBS, or just on streaming being streaming. Or all, or any of the above. Stars. Multiple stars in a water marble. So, like when a couple times that I've done stars in a water marble, it's kind of like, I'm not sure if you were here when I was demonstrating, like, burst. No, not these samples. I don't know where last week's test strips are, because my room is a disaster. But, like, when I do a star, it's generally, like, one large star for the whole nail. I would think that it would be a possibility, and I'm somewhat even tempted to, like, try it myself, except that it would be like a total sidetrack, to do like whatever you wanted to do as a marble, and then take like a dotting tool, or possibly even with the brush, and on top of the existing design add like a small drop of polish that hopefully wouldn't spread out too much, and then just draw that into a star on top of the existing design. That's what comes to mind, but I super really don't know if that would work out. Something like that. It's also something that's come to mind as far as like little hearts. It's something that I've kind of wanted to try, and I never have gotten around to. Maybe the next time we are doing water marble testing on stream, we can do some more actual experimenting. Usually what I've been showing you guys so far has been just like experimenting with colors to find stuff that works well. It's been quite a long time since I've really experimented around with new techniques or new patterns in the water. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. I haven't tried it. If you successfully do it, I would love to see a picture. You could share it in Discord. Oh, technical difficulties, Franka Moose. I hope you get them sorted out. It was nice for you to hang out with us, and have a great day. Polished partiers. Polished gamers. Yeah, next week or tomorrow, Franka Moose, if you're still here, if you're interested in video games. There's gonna be some Hollow Knight going on. Hollow, like empty, not like rainbow. My brain is going off on that water marble tangent, by the way, if you can't tell. So I think I have room on here to do like one more little testy area. Testy like test-y, not like a testicle. If that wasn't clear. I want to see if I can get... So, okay, so we've got these two brushes. I want to see if I can find... I mean, like, I could try and do... Like, this is my jankiest favorite little small brush. But, like, sometimes it really is easier to draw a straight line with a striper brush. A star with a really small bullseye. Possibly, but, like, it's... Because the size of the cup can really make a difference when doing the star to make it, like, to fit onto your nail. Like, let's see if I can pull up an example here. I know I've done star water marbles, but apparently... Okay, here we go. Where's my... This window capture? So, this is a star water marble that I did for 4th of July at some point. And, it was really tricky. Let's go in here. No, let me... Wait, stop. I don't want to see the ad. Don't watch your own ads on YouTube, by the way. You can get in trouble. Let's go in here. Then we won't have to watch ads, and I can hopefully find exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Bear with me for a moment here. So like with a small bullseye, some things are easier and some things are more difficult. Because like, for one thing, I always felt like with like a shot glass size cup or smaller, I always felt like it would be very difficult to, hello, where are you? There you are. Be very difficult to, dang it, don't go there. I'm sorry, I'm like yelling at the computer. I should have just set this up before I got on this page. I want to go in here without the ad. I've always thought that it would be kind of difficult to dip your finger in a shot glass size cup because, I mean, like, imagine if this empty, oh, well, I'll have to wait until I show you this.
Hi guys.
There. That's in my regular cup, and you can see that and my nails were a good bit longer than they are right now, and it was hard to fit the stars to actually fit onto the nail. And I'm getting behind on chat again, I apologize. Yeah, the Trail of Hearts is tricky. It's part of the reason it's part of the reason it's possible is because they're symmetrical, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Like you're drawing all the lines in the same, kind of in the same direction. You're all going in toward the center. And with the star, like when you'd get to the bottom, you'd have to, instead of drawing down, you'd have to kind of go up. And then when you'd want to go to the next one, you'd have to kind of go down, so they wouldn't link together as naturally as the hearts link together as far as drawing them together. If that makes sense. Make that go away. But so, like I was saying, like if we imagine... Uh-oh. It's okay, they were closed. If we imagine that this is like a shot glass size thing, I mean, yeah, it's big enough for your nail, but remember, you gotta kind of get like your first joint in there. You're not just dipping your nail, you're dipping the tip of your finger, and it would be hard to get in there without touching any sides or without like running your finger into the edges of the cup, and of course that could potentially ruin your design. And it's really hard to make a small bullseye, or small bullseye in a regular sized cup. One thing is, like with the one I was showing you, if I recall, I went all the way to the edges. One thing you can kind of try is to, when you're drawing your star out, don't go all the way to the edges of the cup, to keep that more toward the middle. Stars are something I enjoy, but they can be very frustrating, especially because not all polishes are like elastic enough in the water to really appreciate being drawn in different directions like that. Let's see here. Yeah, I agree, Jerry, and I wish they did that. And it's not even technically that it's against YouTube's terms, but that it's against like AdSense's terms, and that if you watch a pre-roll all the way through, it can count as a click, and you're not supposed to click on your own ads. And a lot of times they're like skippable ads, which I can just skip by. But most of the time, if I want to like look at something, if I'm in my right mind, I'll go and look in Video Manager and avoid the ads. You're back hot. It's not super hot here today. I have my air conditioner running mainly just because I'm streaming. If I wasn't streaming, I probably wouldn't have it on, but like I have all my lights on. Like I have 2 overhead lights, the ring lights, and my 3 old lights. Like, they're like pointed at the ceiling, and since my ceiling is white, it's like reflecting it back to me, and it's actually, I've been pretty pleased with like how decent my lighting looks for how like janky it actually is. And then of course the 2 monitors and my computer and all that kicking off heat, and I thought, let me just put my air conditioning on, but it's only like 80 here, I think. 106 dinosaur, no. That's a no for me. Like, whoa. Testicles. Is that inappropriate? Is Twitch gonna ban me? Oh, Jerry's leaving, and it was probably a couple minutes ago. If you're still here, bye, Jerry. Otherwise, Ribbons, tell Jerry I said bye. Oh, because it's 4, because Jerry has to start his own stream. Okay, we've been live for 2 hours, and I didn't know. Oh, and I didn't get to show Jerry how these look when they dry. You can clip this, Ribbons, and show it to him later. Can you guys see how this is like textured and still kind of sparkly, but it's, I mean, like not like the rest of this is super shiny because we've been stamping on it and stuff, but you can see it's reflecting the light, whereas these are just like a completely different sort of a finish. Sidetracked again. Dip a stamper in water marble and then do all your nails. Yes, Mega, and I have one time. It was more difficult than I expected it to be, and it was actually fairly recently. I want to say that was maybe a month ago. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. Yeah, this one. Come on here. If you check out my YouTube channel and search stamped water marble, or just go on the videos tab and scroll back a little bit, this design is the one that and for that I did, you know how I was just talking about which side of the stamper to use. For that, I'm pretty sure I flipped it around and used the flat side. And a couple other little tricks, because it makes it easier to place on your nails, but it is kind of tricky. What I did was use a dotting tool to split the marble design in half, so you actually had like 2 nails worth of stamping. So yeah. Mrs. Shrado, hello! Narrow, tall shot glasses. Cut based on your nail size for sure. Well, thank you for unlurking to share knowledge. That's like a perfect reason to unlurk, I think. And if you feel like chatting some more, you're of course welcome, and if you're wanting to lurk some more, you are also of course welcome. 83 and rainy. I love the rain too, Vinny. Although it makes me very sleepy. I go to sleep to rain sounds. I said it's salty. Tiny drag marble star decals. That'd be cool too. Yeah, like, and really, like, this drag marbling that I've been doing today, like this stripey kind of drag marbling, this is like not what I would consider traditional drag marbling. Traditional drag marbling, I would consider like doing it right on your nail, and in a lot of cases doing something that kind of like, ooh, fakes a water marble. Maybe I should do that. No, okay, getting distracted again. Yes, great minds do think alike. Alright, what I wanted to do before I at least show you guys these other things, and I'm still undecided if I want to try and try this. I believe what I was doing was looking for another liner brush to see if I had something in between these. I have all these. Okay, there's no brushes in here. This like full of nail polish things, scissors, files. There's no brushes in there. I know I at least have one other from this set. Are you in here? Oh my god, you guys. I'm so sick of being so disorganized. Well, why don't you get organized then, Clit? Because being organized is hard. Should I try it with the fan brush? I don't know. I don't... Like, the thing with fan brush... Can I get it wet enough for my bottle? My bottle is sweating. Like, you get it a little bit wet, and then you can kind of spike out the edges. I feel like that would possibly give me too much of one or the other color. I have yet to do what I would consider a successful fan brush manicure. Like, I understand the technique, but it's not something that I'm, like, super good at. For science. Alright, maybe we'll do a little bit for science after we do this last test, though. So, let's get out a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. We're back to the color paints. And we're looking for an in-between size stripe. That is what we're doing. Do I want to try and make the big one skinnier, or do I want to make the skinny one bigger? I wish, of course, it's already on my list to take my butt to Michael's and take a look at some brushes. So I guess I will add medium, smallish, skinny, medium, not fat striper brush to my imaginary shopping list, along with another bottle of Alpine Snow, because God, this is really empty. Okay. Where'd Beanie go? No kitty today. You know, he acted like he was gonna come in here. I think it may be a little cooler than he preferred. Oh, I've got a whole bunch of nail polish on my hand. Maybe I'll call him in a minute and see if I can get him to join us. So, I'm using the skinny brush, but I'm actually trying to load it with a lot of polish, and you can kind of see it's beading up on there. For this time, I'm cool with that. We're gonna try and use the beads to make the lines like on the thicker side. See, now that's too thick. Maybe if I just, of course, we could do like the skinnier-ish lines and then stroke a multiple stroke through them. Oops, that was far too close. Get a little bit of blue here. And I really, you know, of course I also discussed whether I should let's try and do this freehand on my nails. I think that one's going to be kind of a good in-between though. I wish I had room right next to those other two, but we'll try to stick it in here on the top row. Someone is feeding him kitty treats and fanning him. Oh, I love you too, Ribbons. You and Jerry are such good. I mean, it seems weird to like call people friends that you've never met in real life, but I feel like I've known you guys for freaking a long time, and I see you more than some of my real life friends. So enjoy. Have a good rest of your day. If you guys didn't know, I don't think it's a secret. Hopefully they don't mind me saying Ribbons is Jerry's wife. So that's why his stream is more important than my stream for her. And I think this is yeah, passes the touch test. I'm not in frame very well here. That's the one thing when I'm like zoomed closer in like this, I have a little bit of trouble staying in frame, as you guys probably have noticed. That's actually looking pretty, ooh. I just literally just had another idea just looking at that. So this is the one I just placed. These are the two earlier OPI ones, and in fact maybe I'll also OPI, UPI, and this is CBL. And then everything else is freaking Zoya. So that's looking pretty good. I mean, they're pretty much close to perfect color-wise of what I really want on a red, white, and blue manicure. And I'm thinking of some other things that maybe I do want to stick with these colors, but I'm feeling very uncertain of whether I want to for sure do a drag marble. Let's do some drag marble stars for science. Let's see, I don't want to put this too far away. Alright, we've got another lid here. And I'm gonna get a little bit of more acetone so I can clean this off just briefly. Run the fan brush through the stripes one time before grabbing with the stamper. Would it smear it? It's a good question. I kind of feel like it might smear it. Especially given that they're the color paints and they're already leaning toward being kind of sheer. I kind of want to try it though. Yeah, missed opportunity. I wasn't fast enough with the chat. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't have. I already closed those. What am I going to do? What colors am I going to do this in? So, yeah, let's open these back up. And I mean, I've got a couple different ideas even of just how to do the drag marble stars. So let's just show you guys a couple things here. I'm going to clean off my little tiny small brush here. And stick my stamper over here. So let's get out a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Let's grab a dotting tool. Like that. Well, maybe like that. And dotting tools usually come in sizes, you guys, but if you don't have a dotting tool, you can certainly usually make your own. Just find something round that you can get nail polish all over. So, moving frame here. Let's, what I'm going to try first is with the dotting tool, which I'm going to just swipe in acetone real quick. The same set of dotting tools, I know. I'm going to do a dot of blue, and I'm also going to do a dot of red. And then, like with my brush, with my small brush, you can try like pulling it out. See, it's kind of, that's not working. No, that's not working. The base is possibly not thick enough, and that's possibly not enough blue either. No, I don't, I mean, it's not like the worst thing ever. It's just not, not great. Okay, so then the other thing, technically, red stripes and blue with white stars, so let's put the blue down. And actually, I don't know if this would really be the best blue, because you would have a hell of a time getting this opaque on your nail. This is what I have out. And we'll do a white dot. We'll do a couple. Can we fit a couple? Of course, if you do more than one, see, that's not even wanting to... I was going to say you'd have to be very careful to keep them the same size. So, kind of start pulling. And, actually, that... the only reason that sucks is because of me. That could have been cool. There, the second one's actually not too bad. Huh? Way better than the red and the blue on top of the white is the white on top of the blue. So with fused smaller dots, you could get even smaller stars. And that actually, I actually don't hate that at all. I would probably like practice and mess around with it for a very long time before I was satisfied with it. Well, this just... I'm sorry, this is really... Usually I wait until I'm done if I get polish all over myself, but because it's the pixie dust, it's all like gritty on the back of my hand every time I accidentally touch it. And of course, they can be kind of stubborn to get off because they're glitters. Can you still see that silver like shimmering on my knuckle? Okay. I need to think about that for a minute. And think about the drag marbles too. And, get them... Drag marble stars and stars to the force. The testing settles it. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, let's. Are these still? Oh, let's get out a little bit more. That actually. Of course, actually, also. No, see, being inspired is always. I mean, I would always rather have too much inspiration than too little. But sometimes it's like. Not to your own benefit. It's like you're distracting yourself and then you don't end up getting anything done. But on the other hand, sometimes distracting yourself is good, and then whatever you're thinking about is kind of percolating in the back of your head. Okay, so actually, do I think my blue one is my biggest one. One thing is when you're... Oh, that's really dirty. Hopefully we don't get too much on the white. When you're working with different sized dots, is sometimes you might think you have like a small dotting tool and really it's not that small. Like, you have to remember that the polish is going over the dotting tool and like creating another dot. Okay, so we've got our blue and our white and our red. And you could also use, in fact, do I have one handy? A toothpick. And we'll go here, here, here. Not bad, but I think I like just the blue and the white more. Oops. God, guys, when am I going to get used to not having my camera mirrored? Do I want to go this way? Do I want to go this way? Yeah, I like just the white ones better for that, I think. And what you use to drag marble with is personal preference, or sometimes even depending on what you're doing, a certain tool might work better than another. Sometimes I might use a toothpick, sometimes I might use my small little brush, sometimes I might use a very small dotting tool, although this isn't the smallest size, but anything with a fairly small sharp point could certainly use a orange stick will work. Captain America-ish. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing, it was like I was thinking like, well, maybe I can do something with foils. And these are kind of hard. The blue is especially hard. Like silver in place of the white. I think the red is kind of showing the pattern the best. Can you guys see, like right here where these are coming together? It's kind of like a fireworks pattern in here. Whoa. And they're round and they will roll off of the desk, FYI to self. So they've got like these kind of like these big bursts here, like in these rounds that are, and then like in between them there are these smaller sections with, it's like a set of 4 little small ones in there. And I had this thought of cutting out the small ones in squares and then either doing some kind of like mosaic or like overlapping them in some kind of a cool way. But foils are such a pain in the butt to work with, especially since I found that the way to really like keep the pattern of the foil is to work with gels. So as much as I kind of would like to see how that would turn out by cutting out these little tiny small firework bursts, I think I'm gonna have to not do that. Have to not. What time is it? 4:23. I feel like I am running out of steam slightly earlier this week, but you guys know when I start to get extra goofy, that means we are nearing the end of stream. Where did I put my notebook? The other thing I'm thinking with these color paints, in fact, we'll do a little bit more testing. We're not done yet. We're gonna put, now I certainly could work directly on the paper. It's a white background, but sometimes it's like the texture isn't the same, and even when you add a coat of polish, that's still not going to be exactly the same. But I feel like sometimes a coat of polish, painting on it, feels more like painting on your nails than painting on a just a blank piece of paper. So I'm going to do just 2 little white spots here, and I'm going to let them dry for a minute. I'm wondering if I could just, instead of with the stamping, freehand it on my nail on a dry polish instead of trying to do it on the wet polish and then stamp it, because of course the stamping is an extra step, can also be messy. This type of stamping where you have kind of a, you know, they're not quite decals, but I don't know what else to call them. You know, it's gonna overlap your finger a little bit, and I have been displeased with using like a barrier, and I have been displeased with not using a barrier, because it's like if you, whichever one you do, you end up wishing you had done the other. Your breath caught. Yeah, I have a lot of foils, and I do have a foil design coming up. Actually, that one shows that little burst section I was trying to show you guys really nicely. Right here. I would like to do, something like a stained glass window design with nail foils. And I also would like to revisit, let's see here if I can find it and show you guys, anybody that hasn't seen, because looking at it is far better explanation than just me trying to say, yeah. Okay, so, come on, computer. And this picture doesn't do them justice. This manicure is done with nail foil strips, kind of like the staggered gradient that we were talking about earlier, except done with nail foils. And it just ends up looking so pshoo, like blinding, like 3 times what it looks like in the picture on your nails. Okay, these are dry. So, you can kind of see there, yeah, as I reflect it, we've got 2 little spots, and I think I am going to give a try. I am going to give a try with the dry brush, you know what? Why not? And, where can I stick this? Kind of like right here. I want to keep this in frame. Yeah, well, nail foils are so good, and I do have some proper foil glue now, and I do have a water-based top coat, and that's supposed to help. But it's like, my non-gel experience with foils was so negative. With pink hollow foil. Oh my god, that would be great. Probably Barbie. I want to try them again without gel, but in addition to the fact that most top coats, most regular top coats, even the water-based ones to an extent, although they aren't as bad as the quick dry ones, they crinkle it. The main problem I've always had is even if you try to do the most even, nice coat of the adhesive and you let it dry and it's nice and tacky, getting the foil to adhere smoothly is really difficult. And I mean, I'm sure more practice would help. I mean, I really only did it a couple times, but the gel method was so much better for like, because like especially with these kind of ones that have a pattern on them, if you have little holes out of the pattern when you get it on your nail, you just don't get that same effect. Yes, cracked Vinny. I mean, I have, and I'm trying, I don't even remember what the videos are called, or I would try to pull them up a little bit. I have a couple nail foil videos. Well, at least one. The attempt prior to that might have been before I was doing YouTube videos. But yeah, it's on my to-do list. And, you know, this yellow stopper that I've been using for stickiness, I have heard that will also work for pigments. I'm not sure if it's sticky enough to also work for nail foils. So what I did there was use the condensation off my water bottle to spike up the dry brush here, or the fan brush. And I'm going to get a little bit of the red and like that. And then I'm going to clean off the red. And then when it's wet with acetone, can kind of do the same thing. You don't want it like wet with acetone. In fact, actually, I think I need a little bit more actual just water, because the acetone can interfere with the polish when you pick it up again. If I were actually doing a manicure with this, I actually probably would have a little shot glass full of water to help spike out my fan brush. I'm gonna get a little bit more, and I'm actually gonna swipe in. Oops, I didn't mean to go quite all the way over. What do you guys think of that? I kind of like that. And the other thing I wanted to just give a try was do a little bit of just dry striping and see how that ends up looking. Actually, might need a little bit more blue here. Oops, I meant to keep that in frame for you guys. And the other thing with striping, like I said, is on the nail it would be a little more difficult, because this is flat. Your nail is probably not flat. Some are more curved than others. Yeah, the water-based top coat that I have is the stuff that came with my Revlon pigments. And I wanted to try that. I wanted to try those pigments too with the yellow stopper. I feel like this too, like, although it's kind of easier to get the lines, the thickness that you want, because without a red base they're not like reacting with that wet polish. They're not spreading, or they're not contracting based on that other polish. I feel like for some reason, for me, I have a little bit more trouble keeping it as random. So like this in comparison to this one, I'm quite liking this too though, with the dry brush. And that would, I mean, we were talking earlier about you know, quick manicures versus manicures that take a really long time, and that definitely would be a quicker option. So you guys, I'm not sure which way I'm gonna do this manicure. I think I'm still leaning toward the striped drag marble, because that was where the day started out, and somewhere in between this one, and this one, there is a good design in there. But I also do quite like both of these, actually. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Oh, that's fine, Mega. Yeah, because I mean, like, with the foils, yeah, I don't know. I have a lot I want to try. I want to see if the yellow stopper is sticky enough for the foils. I kind of doubt it, because like when I put it on my nails, it doesn't feel that sticky, but I've seen people use it for pigments. I've never seen people use it for foils, but I do have where... Alright, hold on just one second. So, like, once upon a time when I first bought a kit, I had some foil glue and it actually all dried out. I bought some new super cheap foil glue on Amazon. So I have fresh foil glue, and I have this much. Can I... Maybe if I very carefully tip this, I can show you guys. These are... Whoa. These are all my nail foils. So I have, like, with this many, I have no excuse for not playing around with them more often. And I mean, I have some, just like, I mean, freaking, this purple one, oh, the camera's not doing this justice. I think you can still see some of the hollows and stuff, but, like, some of these just have such gorgeous patterns. I love, like this black hollow. Is this, oh, camera, you fail me. You also fail me, camera. God damn it. I shouldn't say that. Some people super take offense to that, and I say it all the time. Like, not considering it a big deal. I have a gold in this kind of bursty fireworks design. I have some really cute pink ones that are kind of like shatteredy. Shatteredy? Is that a word? I have just like a shimmering, glittery gold. The more cursing, the better. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Were you here the other week when I hosted Jordan Hands Mega? And then this is like my original kit. So we've got like this, and I think this was maybe, oh, my phone. Okay, hold on just a minute, you guys. I think I've complained to you before about how I cannot permanently mute my phone. But usually it's not a problem. I think this one was the first nail foil that I tried because it's freaking... I mean, you guys understand how poorly my ring light does at showing hollow. And you can see the hollow on this. So just imagine what this freaking looks like in person. And it was such a sad, disappointing experience. And I've got like this one with these little rings on it. Like, that's cool. I have this one, which has like large hollow starbursts. Gold hollow. Like, so many foils. Only here for the PG squad. Well, sometime you should stick around though. You might find other squads that are almost as cool. I mean, it's kind of interesting because I follow a fair amount of channels, but I can count what I would consider my favorite channels on one hand. But like when I first came to Twitch, it was like I only watched one channel and that was it. And then like eventually, like through hosting and through rating, found these other channels, and then more recently have actually, like, if nobody I want to watch is on, like, actually started searching out like other people in creative or other people streaming games that I like. But like Jerry's channel I found because Darby rated him, and otherwise I may never have come across his channel, and now we've been friends for like a year. Like the unimpressed face, like well, yeah, so like I said, I'm not sure what the tutorial is gonna be. I'm leaning toward the striped marble because that's what I was planning, but I'm also leaning toward the dry brush because that would be easy. And I really am gonna try my absolute hardest to record the tutorial tonight because tomorrow we will be playing Hollow Knight. I'll be announcing on Discord once I have kind of more finalized what time that's gonna be. Because I'm not sure exactly. I tried to like pay attention last Sunday because I picked Sunday because it's a day that I'm often kind of at loose ends, but I'm still not completely sure what time it'll be, and part of that will be determined by when I finish editing the tutorial. If I can get the tutorial edited tonight, I will consider myself like so efficient and so proud of myself. But realistically, it's probably going to get edited tomorrow. So possibly as early as 5 o'clock in the afternoon, probably more likely early evening or mid-evening or so. But if any of you are interested in that, Caritha, Discord is, let me do the link. Discord is kind of like a chat room or a combination chat room message board And my Discord's broken into some sections, so there's like a general section, there's a section where you can just post pictures of your nail art, there's a social section, people want to share their social media, and the titties. You can't even... Yeah, you can share cat pics, you can share dog pics, you can share any kind of animal pics. There's an animal section, and you know, it's just a place to hang out when I'm not streaming, or if you have questions. I also make some announcements there. Like I said, I'll be once I kind of more finalize the time for tomorrow, I'll announce the time in Discord. And yeah, it's certainly by no means like required to join, but I find it to be pretty fun. So let's see here. If I go here, what's this? Alright. I've got some decisions to make. I've got some nails to paint. Well, I've got to take this clear off first, like I mentioned. And then I've got some recording to do and some editing to do. Next weekend going to be the swatching stream. Well, there may be some limited swatching going on, and I'm not sure exactly when. As far as the actual, like, starting to swatch my collection, not next weekend. I haven't ordered the cabochons, I haven't sorted my collection, and I have not assembled the Helmers. But somebody, and again, I'm so bad with remembering who tells me things, and I'm so thankful to this person that I should have made more of an effort. Somebody told me, and now I'm telling you guys, that China Glaze re-released 6 of the classic OMG hollows. They're calling it the OMG Flashback Collection. And personally, I could wish they'd brought back all 12, but I'm glad that they at least brought back 6. And I ordered some of those and plan to do a comparison between the old OMG colors and these new OMG colors. And if you are ever wanting to buy nail polish and then you like try to use your willpower, like, don't. Because my willpower and my indecision completely screwed me over this week. The first time I looked, they were all there and they were cheap. And then I looked again and it was like, they were like, oh, oops, these weren't supposed to be this cheap, and the price had gone up. And then by the time I actually, like, bit the bullet and placed my order, one of them was sold out. I'm like, kind of irritated with myself, but I have 5 of the OMG colors coming, and I will compare them with my original 5. And dogs are good too. I have my puppy pictures in there, Karitha, you'll see them. But and I am gonna do the swatch sticks on stream when I do start a mega, but I want to make sure to get my collection really organized first, because otherwise that's just going to create things even more messy. But I will be swatching on my nails. I think I'm going to do like one hand with the originals and one hand with the new flashback colors and see how they compare, because a lot of times polish companies are like, oh, we're re-releasing this color that you guys love, and then you get it and you're like, that's not the color I love. This is bullshit. This is like a sad joke. Like when Essie re-released Starry Starry Night. You know, I saw so many people that were like, you know, ranging from sad to super pissed off because it was not the original. Or anybody that's been into nail polish probably knows the story of OPI My Private Jet, which has multiple different variations. I know I personally own 3 different versions of My Private Jet. So I'm really curious to see how OPI or how China Glaze did on recreating the OMG hollows, because those were not my very first hollows. My first hollows were probably the Sally Hansen nail prisms, but they were some of my first hollows I got after I started blogging. And one of my very first like big online hauls. So they will forever hold a special spot in my heart. Yeah, I've heard some of their recent holos have been very disappointing, so my expectations right now are low. And there may already be comparisons out there. I really hadn't looked around very much. I hadn't heard about them until this comment got left on a YouTube video. But I think a lot of people don't have the originals to compare them to, and I have all 12 original OMG holos. So when that package arrives, I will be doing those comparison swatches. And when I swatch my whole collection, it will be on stream, but I'm not making any, like, time promises for that. So, any other new polishes hiding in a box? Not yet. But, so when I went online to buy these China Glaze OMG flashback colors, I, just happened to look around and saw that there are 2 new Color Club Halo Hues holo collections. There is Color Club Halo Chrome and Color Club Halo Crush. And also, due to my delay and my indecision, a bunch of those were sold out by the time I actually placed my order. So, of the 12 colors between the 2 collections, I got 6 of them. So those aren't here yet to show you guys, but those will be coming. And yeah, maybe I will make that stream, like, start with a haul and then do a little bit of swatches. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those. Color Club does awesome holos if you have any of the 3 previous Halo Hues collections. And I'm keeping my eye out for when the other 6 get restocked so that I can get them. But I haven't, what percentage of my collection is indie versus mainstream? I mean, I'm not sure. 'Cause too, it's like, where do you draw the line with indie? Like, Colors by Llarowe is kind of an indie, right? But they're not as indie as some indies. Or there's also, like, kind of an in-between. Like, stuff that you don't see at Target, but that is commonly available at, like China Glaze. Like, you're probably not going to see China Glaze at Target, so I wouldn't necessarily call it mainstream. I guess it's technically kind of a salon brand, but it's not really a high-end brand. So I honestly don't know. When I get my spreadsheet updated, one of the reasons I want to do that is so that I can have a count of how many polishes of each brand I have. Because, like, right now, I'm sure I have hundreds of certain brands. Like Zoya, I have hundreds. Colors by Llarowe, I probably have over 100. China Glaze, I definitely have hundreds. But then there's also, brands like Essie, or, Claire's, or, Claire's too. I wouldn't call Claire's mainstream. They're only sold at Claire's, but they're certainly not an indie. So where does that put them on the continuum of polish brands? And I heard too, another segue, side note, I heard Claire's is going bankrupt. And I haven't looked for an update of that lately, but if you have a Claire's store near you, you may want to pop in there and see if they have stuff on clearance. Because Claire's actually has surprisingly decent polish. Indie equals online only. That could be. In that case, like, I suppose, is Misa considered an indie? I'm not sure if Misa's even making polish. That was part of the reason why I was delaying on my order too, because I looked and all these Misa polishes were slashed to like $2, and I love Misa. In fact, I should research that a little bit more. Like, I don't know if they're just, like, not making polish anymore, or if this store was just, like, clearing out. Hello, Dinosaur, you are back, but we are wrapping it up. Has all 6? All 6 of which, Barbie? Do you mean the Color Club ones, or the China Glaze? No. Painted Dinosaur, I had been considering doing another tutorial on stream, but I can't decide which of these is going to be the tutorial. I don't remember exactly when you left, but we have it down to these are with the OPI color paints as a stamped drag marble. Then this is the color paints, just freehand striped, not a drag marble. And then this is the color paints with a fan brush. So it's down to those three, but I need to pick which of those three I'm going to be recording this evening. If Butts would stop asking questions. Wait, should I be calling you Butts instead of Mega? Just for laughs? Or should I say just for lols? The last is your vote. The fan brush? See, I'm also losing my words, which is the other reason why the stream has to be over soon. I really like the fan brush too. I'm trying to... One of my favorite words is metacognitive, and it means to understand why you're thinking what you're thinking, basically. And I'm trying to figure out if I like this one because I like the look of it, or because I like the fact that it would be an easier manicure than doing the stamped drag marble. Fan brush is your favorite too, Sakrista. Fan brush. You answer to both. Oh, the China Glaze Hollow. That's good to know. I don't go to Walmart very often. It's like a weird place. But, yeah, I've got them coming in the mail now. So, and a lot of times the online nail polish shops can be considerably cheaper than like stores. I know they're definitely cheaper than Sally's. I don't know how much Walmart might have had them for. They may have had them on a discount. Because it's something you haven't seen me do before. Well, and really, I've done it before, but not often because I wasn't pleased with how it turned out. But I really like this. And it it's got some interest to it without being overly busy, if that makes sense. You're here, you'll watch. No, I at least need a break. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I'm going to say probably not. But possibly, but especially since I'm streaming tomorrow, probably not. No, I'm going to say it's not happening. No tutorial on stream today. I was going to say I'll take a break and come back later, but no. Because then you guys would be waiting around and then I'd be sitting on the porch like, yeah, no, I can't do any more streaming today. Now I'm going to start calling you guys the children because you're all a bunch of little whiners. Aww, come on. No, I'm going to wrap it up. I think I'm going to host Jerry because he's playing this adorable little game. Even though I know a couple of you said you only come on Twitch for me and then you leave. Yeah, are we there yet? If there is the end of stream, then yes, we are there. And I really like raids, but I feel like hosts make it a little bit easier to time the end of the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a host. And and I'm going to take a little break, go spend a little puppy time, get something to eat, because all I've had today so far was that cup of tea you saw me drinking at the beginning of stream. And keep an eye out for the tutorial tomorrow, keep an eye out for the gaming stream tomorrow, and as always, of course, I feel like I've gotten cut off saying this a couple times the last couple weeks. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.